1984 Comparisons to Nazi Germany by Lucas Ulmer and Connor Nicholson.
Within the following slideshow, the audience will be introduced to 5 comparisons between the critically acclaimed novel 1984 by George Orwell and the fascist state of Nazi Germany. The 5 comparisons between the novel 1984 and Nazi Germany consist of the topics: the government's ability to control the youth of their country in an attempt to alter the worldview and grow nationalism, limit rights of citizens, propaganda, usage of media, and spreading hatred of a particular race in an attempt to build fear and strengthen the nation's concept of nationalism.
Totalitarianism is defined as the practice of a government having absolute control of a state or region, resulting in a state with a strong central ruler that controls all aspects of humanity through corruption and repression. The government controls the population through propaganda, controlling and shaping the minds of the youth, giving no individual freedoms to members of society, and spreading hatred about a particular race in an attempt to spread nationalism. Both the novel 1984 and Nazi Germany were totalitarian states centered on a political figure. The society of 1984 was led by Big Brother, and all members of society were taught that Big Brother is always watching. Hence, all unrighteous deeds against the state will be caught and will result in punishment. Nazi Germany was led by Adolf Hitler and worked upon the basis of national pride and usage of propaganda led by Joseph Goebbels to identify hatred of the Jewish race and those who were labeled not German or mentally and physically challenged. Now I will tell you the answer to my question. It is this: the party seeks power entirely for its own sake. We are not interested in the good of others. We are interested solely in power, pure power. What pure power means, you will understand presently. We are different from the oligarchies of the past in that we know what we are doing. All of the others, even those who resembled ourselves, were cowards and hypocrites. The German Nazis and the Russian communists came very close to us in their methods, but they never had the courage to recognize their own motives. They pretended, perhaps, even they believed, that they had seized power unwillingly and for a limited time, and that just around the corner they lay a paradise where human beings would be free and equal. We are not like that. We know that no one ever seizes power with the intention of relinquishing it. Power is not a means, it is an end. One does not establish dictatorship in order to safeguard a revolution. One makes the revolution in order to establish the dictatorship. The object of persecution is persecution. The object of torture is torture. The object of power is power. Now you will begin to understand me. Totalitarian states drive the fuel of their nationalistic pride by altering and controlling the country's youth's perceptions of the world, in an attempt to gain support, build a sense of nationalism, and to instill the ruling body's ideologies during a person's most crucial years during their childhood. George Orwell illustrates the horrific natures of child being mentally controlled by their government through the usage of propaganda and the implantation of government policy in schooling. Children in 1984 are taught at a young age to spy on members of society and report any information or rebellion or anti-Big Brother to the thought police. The audience first-handedly experiences the horrific nature of child in the novel through Mrs. Parsons' children, who are members of the Junior Spies and show the extremes of child obsessed with the ideologies of the governing party. Mrs. Parsons' kids threatened to report her to the thought police as she did not take her child to a public hanging of the rebellious individual who went against Big Brother. In Nazi Germany, propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels used after-school meetings for the youth, the Hitler Youth Program, and the League of German Girls to spread Nazi Germany's political ideologies and instill hatred of the Jewish race to the most innocent members of society. Joseph Goebbels strategically manipulated through the usage of clubs and schooling as the nation's youth youth were the most vulnerable members of society and have underdeveloped brains to think for themselves and know right from wrong. Totalitarian states target their nation's youth as they are easily manipulated and look up to the older but more powerful members of society.
Members of society in the novel 1984 in Nazi Germany are given limited rights and are simply controlled by their respective governing bodies. In 1984, citizens have curfews, were watched 24/7 via telescreens, could not openly discuss their ideologies, or they would be subjected to thought crimes by the thought police. In Nazi Germany, German citizens were forced to demonstrate Nazi beliefs, or they would be severely punished and sent to concentration camps or killed. In 1984, citizens were also punished for not believing their governing body's ideologies, and would be sent to the Ministry of Love, where they'd be tortured and retaught the beliefs of their governing party. Winston in 1984 was forced to fall in love with Big Brother after he was tortured and mentally abused. Winston was also taught that 2 + 2 = 5. In both societies, freedom of speech was non-existent, and both governing bodies used physical force to scare their citizens in believing and preaching their ideologies. Both societies used the concepts of public executions to scare and warn anyone from turning against their ruler. Both societies also lacked basic human rights present in the modern world. Citizens were controlled, and if they did not follow their leaders' beliefs, death and punishment were the consequences of their actions. The two aims of the party are to conquer the whole surface of the earth and to extinguish once and for the possibility of independent thought. There are therefore two great problems with the party is concerned to solve. One is to discover against his will what another human being is thinking, and the other is to kill several 100 million people in a few seconds without giving warning beforehand. Is that okay? In a totalitarian regime, the basis of their existence consists of propaganda. Propaganda is the fuel that runs the governing body's platform and the means of spreading their beliefs to the broader public. In 1984, it uses the fictional figure of Big Brother to spread propaganda and fear in their citizens. All throughout England, citizens see posters that say, "Big Brother is watching you," or "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength." The Big Brother party uses these signs to build fear within society so individuals do not attempt to partake in deeds that go against the beliefs of the party. These signs also act as means of building awareness towards the party's beliefs and attempt to greaten the country's sense of nationalism and pride in the governing body. Joseph Goebbels and Adolf Hitler fueled Nazi Germany's propaganda. The Nazis spread propaganda about the Jewish culture in an attempt to label the Jewish race as inferior to the Germans and build a sense of national pride. In 1984, the Jewish equivalent would be Oceana or Emmanuel Goldstein. Oceana is currently in war with the British and is identified as their hated rival. Emmanuel Goldstein is used to identify the opposite state against Big Brother to the masses of society. Every day during the 2-minute hate, the Big Brother party uses Emmanuel Goldstein to build and spread hatred towards those against Big Brother, resulting in a mockery similar to Nazis' treatment of the Jewish population in Europe during the Second World War. Who controls the past controls the future, and who controls the present controls the past. A quote from O'Brien in the novel 1984 by George Orwell. Both Nazi Germany and the society in 1984 used divisions of media to alter the past in order to control the present. In 1984, Winston is responsible for altering old books, newspaper, and documents available to the public in order to preach Big Brother ideologies and make sure Big Brother is always correct. Nazi Germany also used the media and forms of documentation to preach their ideologies to the broader masses and eliminate all Jewish traditional books, clothing, language, and history within their society in order to strengthen their leadership over the state. Big Brother fabricates all public documentation and lies how old the governing body is, their history, and how long they have been at war with Oceania for. In conclusion, the Big Brother party in the novel 1984 and Nazi Germany were totalitarian regimes who used propaganda and hatred to fuel their nation and build nationalism in an attempt to control their governing state. Strategically, both nations were similar. However, Nazi Germany attempted to spread worldwide and lost their power. The Big Brother party never failed in the novel due to their ability to limit international growth and solely focus upon British society.